Hi, I'm Larry Trocha, and today we're going to do a tune-up on this 4-year-old gelding. The story behind this gelding is I had him as a late 2-year-old, early 3-year-old. I put, I don't know, about 8 months of training on him, 6 months of that on cattle, and then his owner took him home and just kind of used him as a trail horse, just kind of rode him around the place and, you know, up and down the road and stuff. And, you know, she doesn't really need him anymore, so she's decided to sell him. And so she brought him back here for a quick little tune-up. And so that's what we're going to video today. I'm going to kind of put a little tune on him. And we're not going to do anything heavy duty because, you know, he's not really legged up. You know, he just gets ridden occasionally. And so we're just going to kind of improve what we've got. And from riding him around, he has stayed pretty darn good. The lady's done a good job of kind of maintaining his training. You know, he's still pretty darn supple. And I've got a snaffle bit on him today, but I've ridden him in a curb bit. I've ridden him in different things. And you can see right here, I mean, she's kept him pretty nice and supple. And like I say, he's a 4-year-old, so, you know, it's nice to have one in a curb bit, and he is in a curb bit. He'll neck rein and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm just going to walk him around a little bit. Now what I want to do is just kind of improve, you know, his head position. I want to improve his turnaround. I want to improve his stop a little bit. And like I say, we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We're just going to kind of just get it a little bit better than what it is. You know, what a lot of people do is they don't give the horse the reward of quitting when the horse is doing something right, so the horse doesn't understand what he's doing, you know, if he's doing it right or not. So it's important that when you ask that horse to drop his head, when his head is on the way down and wanting to stay there, that's when you give him the slack. Let him know that's what you wanted. Now I'm going to take and drive him into the left side of the bit, and he gives that pretty darn good. I like that. If he was a little stiff, I'd drive him into it a little stronger. I might even bump him. I might even go straight up. But he did that pretty good. Let's test him the other way. Drive him into the right side of the bit. Doing that pretty good. I'm going to bump straight up to kind of exaggerate. There we go. It's really bringing that head in nice. The reason for coming straight up with the rein, you'll see sometimes we'll bump down here, and sometimes we'll go straight up with the rein. If the horse, he's really wanting to keep his head there now. So if the horse is bending right here by the withers, but isn't bending enough up by the pole, that's when I'll come straight up. Coming straight up gets our bend right up here behind the horse's ears, okay? I would prefer to have them bending up here than down here, okay? And ride him forward, ask him to drop his head. When I ask him to drop his head, I just touch him, and if he doesn't drop, I just seesaw it until it goes down. I'm going to get a little more demanding. There we go. Get a little more demanding. And out on the trail, his owner, you know, she doesn't do any of this stuff, getting him to lower his head and stuff, so he's just a little rusty on it, which is fine. Now I'm going to get a little shoulder control here. I'm going to take my outside rein. I'm going to move his shoulders to the right. And if he does a little reverse arc, that's fine. I'm going to take the direct rein, kind of bump it, use my outside foot. Good, okay. And ride him out of it. Now as I ride him out of it, I'm going to take his shoulders to the right and reverse arc. Let him know I want his shoulders to move off that rein. Here, it's pretty good. Now I like what he's doing here. I like that when I move his shoulders to the right, he's dropping his nose. If he didn't, I would take the right rein and I would bump like this, maybe seesaw a little bit, and get him to drop his nose vertical as he bent his head in the reverse arc. Shake it till it goes down. There we go. Good. Same thing the other way. I'm going to reverse arc. Reverse arc means if we're going in a circle to the left, his body's arced to the right. Okay? So we're going to do a little bit of that. Take his head to the right, bump his nose down with this left rein here. There we go. use my outside foot, and I'm just moving his shoulders to the left as I have his head to the right. Good. This is all just getting control of his body, tuning him up, letting him, getting him used to letting me control his body again. Now we're going to move his shoulders. There we go. I didn't bring him good enough. I'm going to walk forward as I move his shoulders to the left, bump that left rein, kick him a little bit, that outside foot, let him know that we want that shoulder go to the left. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Let's turn him around. Okay, it's a little, kind of losing himself a little bit. It's a little rusty. So I trot forward in a circle. Let's move those shoulders to the left. Kick him a little bit, that outside foot. Say, get going to the left. Now ask him for the turn. Trot him out of it. There we go. Now I can tell he's getting a little dizzy when we're turning around there. It's just like a person. If you're not used to spinning, you'll get dizzy real quick. Horses are the same way. If they haven't been used to spinning, they'll get dizzy quick. Let's turn him around this way. Good. I'm gonna let him out of it before he gets dizzy. He still got a little dizzy. But that was pretty good that direction. Let's test him to the left again. Good, okay. Big improvement there. Notice how he kept his rear end in position better that time and moved that front end around flatter. That was good. Okay. So we'll side pass him here a little bit. So I'm using the reins to move his shoulders. I'm using my foot to move his hindquarters. That was good. If the head goes up, I just shake it right back down. Now if I want to side pass him that direction, I use my reins to move the shoulders that direction, and I use my foot to move his body. Shake his head down. There we go. Shake his head down. Shake his head down. There we go. Now back him up a little bit. He's kind of resistant here a little bit. That doesn't surprise me. Side pass him this way. Good. Good. Now I got to, there we go. So if the shoulders go faster than the hindquarters, you got to slow the shoulders down, let the hindquarters catch up. So when he did that for a couple steps, I just quit asking for the shoulders and just asked for the hindquarters. Now we're going to go that direction again. So the first thing I do is use some rein, then some leg. Shake his head down. If the head goes up, I just shake it right back down, just as a little correction. There we go. Now he's keeping it in good shape. Good. Shake it right back down. Shake it right back down. Good. And I finish with shaking it down. I'm going to get a little more insistent. There. So now he voluntarily wants to keep it low. Let him know that, I want you to keep your head low. So we're going to side pass the other direction again. Start with the shoulders, use my reins. Now my foot. Good. Good. And it's press release with my spur. Press, release, press, release, press, release, press, release. So I'm pressing with my spur to ask for him to move off my spur. And as soon as he does, I release as his reward, okay? If I just held the spur there, he has no reward, no incentive to continue to move off of it. So everything is the application of pressure and then the release of pressure as the reward. So now we're going to go that direction again. We'll see if he keeps his head pretty good position going this way. Let's see if we'll keep it good going the other way. So I use my right foot and I press, release, press, release. Now his head's coming up. There we go. Press, release, press, release. Head's coming up. Shake it down. Now he's going forward too much. I'm going to back him up. There we go. Press, release, press, release, press, release. Good. Not bad. So he's not quite as good going to the left as he is to the right, so he needs a little more work. But I tell you, for his first day back, this was pretty darn good. So he's kind of starting to huff and puff. He's not legged up, he's not in shape. So I got to be careful I don't overdo here. When you hear him kind of huffing and puffing, you don't want to, got to give him a little chance to catch their breath. All right, so we're going to work on his stop a little bit, then we'll let him catch his breath, and we're going to run a cow in and work him on a cow. Okay. Ooh. So now I asked him to stop, and he stopped pretty good there. To improve it, I'm going to seesaw his head down, put pressure in his mouth, pull on him a little bit, ask him to move off the bit with my feet. I'm basically setting the brick wall with the bit and asking him to back off of it with my feet. Turn him around. That was nice. His head kind of came up there, so I'm going to shake it down. Head's coming up, shake it down. Good. Shake his head down again. Oh. Back him up. Let him know you want him to stop a little bit better than that. Oh. That's better. Good boy. Now I'm asking him to back up, and he's a little sluggish on that backup. So it's the same kind of correction. Shake his head down, pressure in his mouth, so I'm to get off the bit. I'm using my feet to tell him I want him to get off that bit. It's like setting the brick wall in front of him, using my feet to ask for motion. With the brick wall set in front of him, he's forced to go back. There we go. And as soon as they start going back quick, I quit, I release. Oh. Good boy. That was better. That was better. Oh. Rolling back. Oh. Oh. Rolling back. Oh. Rolling back. Okay, his head's kind of coming up a little bit. He's kind of expecting me to pull on him. There we go. That time he kept his head lowered. There, nice. There, now his head's going down. That's what I want. I want that low head. There, perfect. So it's not going to take much to get this horse back to where he was. Good, 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 good. Now he's really wanting to put it down. Oh. 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 Shake his head down. There's a little resistance there. Oh. Good boy. Good stop there. Check his slide track. I always like to check their slide tracks to see if they're even. If you got one long slide track and then the other foot's barely, you know they're going to be sore on one foot. If their slide tracks aren't kind of even, you know you got a soreness problem. And his slide tracks look pretty darn even. Pretty darn even. So we'll turn the camera off for a little while, let him catch his breath, run a cow in, work him on a cow. I think he's caught his breath enough. We'll run in a cow, work him on a cow. And here again, I'm not going to ask him to, kill himself to work this cow because he's just not in good enough shape. But we'll kind of mess with it a little bit and just kind of see if we can't make a little improvement here and there. So this little 4-year-old here, he hasn't seen a cow in, I don't know, almost a year. So I don't really know how he's gonna, I like that. He's got his ears up looking at it, his head's down. I like that. So we're just gonna, like I say, he's had, when I had him in training before, I had him on cattle about 6 months. So, I mean, he's not a trained cutting horse, but you know, he was reading the cow pretty good. Step him up there. So I'm gonna go to the cow to make the cow move. When the cow moves, we break off and we catch it. Cow stops, we stop. Take him across the cow, across the cow. There we go. If he wants to put his head down, I let him. I like a low-headed horse. Take him across the cow, good. Ooh, grab the stop real nice right there. Okay. Ride him to the cow with my herd side foot. Cow goes, I'm gonna go with it. Go down the fence with him. Stop at the cow, bring his nose in. Good. Bring his nose in a little bit, then take him across the cow. Stop nice, bring his nose in. Bring that rein straight up to bring his nose in. I want him to turn his head and bend his neck right behind the ears. Good. There we go. Set him up again. Bring his nose in. I shake his nose down. I want him to make this turn nose first. Stay in balance. A couple of those turns, he kind of came shoulder first and made him lose his balance and bring his head up. So I remind him of his foreman style. After he hits the stop, bring that nose in. Get him to lower his head right there. And once he's there, I give him the slack. Because I want him to start that turn nose first. That's how a horse stays in balance. If they come shoulder first, they lose their balance and they lose their form and style. Take him across. Ooh, nice. Good counter. Hit the stop. Cow's getting ready to turn. Bring his nose in. Set him up. Good. And he's pretty much stopping on his own. I mean, he hasn't forgotten much. I mean, it's been almost a year since he's worked a cow. He hasn't forgotten that much. Now, yeah, I could get him stopping a little crisper, a little stronger. Need to get him maybe firing a little bit stronger across that cow. But you don't want to do that, you know, the very first time you work him on a cow after a long layoff like that. You just kind of want to build him up little by little. So the next time I work him, I might ask him for a little bit more. But right now, I just want him to be correct. Correct. There we go. Good counter move. Stopped on his own right there. Head's low. And we're just going to slow things down. Remind him of his position to bring his nose in there. There we go. I'm going to take him to the cow with my herd side foot. See, all it took was a little touch with that leg and he started to go to the cow. And that was a nice counter right there. He turned when the cow went. The cow kind of gave him a head fake and he came right back. He read that real good. So here again, I'm going to use my herd side leg to ask him to go to the cow. And see how he brings his head right to the cow? I asked him to go to the cow. Because I reminded him by bringing his nose in, he knows he's supposed to bring his head in there. Let's see him read the cow. I'm going to use my herd side leg, ask him to go to the cow. Good. Quit riding. He comes to a stop. And I'm going to let him off. I'm going to let him off right there because he's doing good. He's doing good. I just, I want to quit on a good note.